What's up, people? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Big Talk. Why are you walking in the middle of the podcast, bro? Yeah, so we got Rashaad, Andre, Lawton back again. Last week 5 was dope, so I figured I'd bring the crew back together.
You're already.
So, yeah, man, we all trainers up in here.
Finished professionals.
That's actually, we trainers, but bump all that. Let's finish that conversation about.
Why are you back in the cut, yo? Why don't you come up?
Am I not in the? I'm in the shot though, so.
All right.
I was in the cut last week. You didn't say nothing.
Probably wasn't paying attention to all that this week. So.
You ain't never paying attention to my head.
Yeah. So what was we talking about?
Higher power. It's what we believe in.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Throwing it out to the audience, but you know, I'm a Christian, so.
Agnostic.
You know,
hey. I know my God.
Yeah. You know, I had somebody tell me that Christianity wasn't even my religion. So, you know, your people's.
You don't know my people.
You know what your people's is.
So, I said.
Black militant.
Wow.
But nah, man, I believe, you know, I definitely believe in the Lord and think, you know, I'm truly blessed. So.
Heard somebody believe in themselves.
Oh, yeah, I believe in myself. Nah, it's just.
I mean, I believe in myself too, but I believe.
I've been ordained and blessed.
Oh, word.
Man.
I guess how to finish that statement. It's like I was saying. It's most of the hard situations that I've come out of. I don't really look to anyone else but me.
Would you consider yourself atheist?
No, I don't think so.
Would you
I think there's a higher power,
Agnostic.
so I wouldn't necessarily think one is more right than the other. I think we spend too much time arguing between being a Muslim is right, being a Christian is right. I think organized religion is.
Say it, because
It's
I'm
a
right.
sham.
Yes, thank
I
you.
don't want to. I'm not trying to offend. It's just personal opinion. I don't like all my courses. Most of my college courses were all religious courses up front, so they were. It's a lot of the same story. It's people messing with other people, thinking my religion's better than yours, and that's how a shit ton of wars start and things like that.
What did you go to school for?
Sociology.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was part of when you take criminal justice, you got to take like a crap ton of sociology classes, and same thing. People was like, I'm right, you're wrong. My person telling me I can kill you because reasons.
My God says so, or my higher power says so. But I believe in that the one thing that they do teach in the Bible, biggest golden rule ever: treat others as you want to be treated. So
You know what's funny? I went to when I was in basic training. Every Sunday they had you can go to a religious service or whatever it's called, and since I already know majority of everything about Christianity because I grew up Baptist, so I was like, you know what, let me see what other religions are out there. So the first week I went to Buddhist thing, pretty much what I expected, karma, everything like that. Second one I went to was Muslim, pretty much what I expected. And then I went to a Wiccan one. That was probably the one I didn't expect the most, is because yes, witchcraft.
It's like witches, right?
Yeah. So, but what's crazy is all their holidays fall in line with the same holidays as Christianity, just on different days. So
does that stuff fall into the same category as like paganism? Like
from what I remember, no. Paganism is just something completely separate. With Wiccan, it's more of witchcraft, like spells and stuff like that.
Right. I know the pagans dive into that a little bit.
I'm not familiar with paganism completely, but they said it's similar but different.
You know, that Christmas is actually not.
Yeah, it's a pagan holiday.
It's a what?
It's a pagan holiday.
Christmas is a pagan holiday.
Wow.
Jesus was. If you listen to like how they describe like the Northern Star right there, it would be actually impossible for that to have happened in December in the middle of the desert where they were. So he was actually born in the summertime, around July.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, y'all messing up some people right now.
But back to the Wiccan thing, it was just pretty much like it said. It says do whatever you want, but remember everything has consequences, and as long as it doesn't harm other people. I thought, yeah, that's cool. I mean, I'm not turning Wiccan or anything like that, but it's cool. And then I went to the atheist, humanism / agnostic, where they pretty much grouped everybody together, and that made the most sense to me. I'm like, yeah, I believe in higher power, but it's just like I can't live my life based off of what a book says that some old white dude wrote 2,000 years ago.
Well, Dre, you got anything to add to that?
I know my God. That's all I want to say. Right?
Yeah, man,
I may not follow the rules, standards, and regulations to actually fit into a certain religion or what have you, whatever your viewpoint is. I know my God, though.
I will say this though, even though I'm agnostic, which means I believe in a higher power, just not by name. Since I grew up Christian, I do refer to the higher power as God, since that's all I know. But I don't believe in one religion over the other.
No, my God.
Right.
So you think of it more like a guardian angel.
I know my
Somebody's just looking out.
Oh my God. Say something else.
You're not gonna know my God like I know my God, bro. It's like, I feel like it can be different for everybody based off of your experiences throughout your lifetime, whatever you've been taught. 9 times out of 10, if you build the child up as they should be, when they depart from the household, they will not, depart from it. So it's whatever you've been, I guess, trained up to believe. But I just know that based off of what I've been through, my experiences, things that I should not have made it out of, even me sitting in this office right now, God ordered.
Let me ask you this.
I know my God.
So, since you can say yourself Christian, right?
Because I don't follow the specific. I don't even know what the standards and what the responsibilities are to completely call myself a Christian man.
Okay.
I know my God.
Okay. This is all I'm trying to get at then. Do you follow? I kind of said.
He's kind of like a hybrid. He's like a little bit of a
Well,
hybrid.
that's what I'm trying to get to.
I'm not put me in no category.
I'm not trying to put you in the category.
God.
I'm just trying to see your mindset. So you say you don't know everything from Christianity in regards to become a Christian man, but do you believe in a higher power in the sense of somebody's protecting you, as you said earlier, or do you believe in what you've heard from Christianity?
I guess you could say a mixture of both.
Okay.
I just know that I've seen messages that I've read in the Bible manifested in the flesh. My connection with God.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I know my God at the end of the day, once again.
Cool.
I do like the act of like karma, like
Karma is cool.
like you get or just the whole the kind of like the theme of there being the universe. It's gonna give you what you want. I think we talked about this a little bit last week too. It's gonna give you what you want, depending on what you give, what you're willing to give up or give to it for it to give you something back.
Facts.
Yeah, I guess that's just a big
You real quiet over there.
Yeah, these type of
You
subjects,
tryna-
you
yeah, you
make me a
tryna-
little nervous, man.
Why?
Cause you're trying to do too much with it, man. Like, I know my God, I read my Bible.
No, but I didn't categorize you. You said that and just seeing your mindset, and that's my thing. It's just like people get so touchy about it.
I just know that there's been times when there's just situations that I shouldn't have been okay in, and I feel like there was something on my shoulder looking out for me. I feel like I've been in church before and listening to a sermon and felt touched, felt like the Spirit got me. And like for me, there's a lot of comfort in believing in a higher power, because some things you go, that's just not right, but it's not for me to understand right now. God has a purpose, and 9 times out of 10, you see the reasoning that comes around a lot of times. So I believe things are happening for a reason. I believe that God ultimately kind of guides us in the right direction. So, that's it. Like I think to live by that mindset is why you try and do the right things and try and do the right things for people and try and operate that's in a way that's respectful to others. So
Treat others as you wouldn't want to be treated.
yeah, it just helps me do that. So
Okay.
yeah.
I'm just.
All right, man. Something lighter, man. Why did you want to become a trainer? Damn.
Why did I want to be a trainer? So I've always been fascinated by the how people can change their bodies in certain ways. Whether it's I train shoulders heavy 3 days a week for 12 months, and then I have these massive deltoids, or somebody just grows massive legs. I like seeing somebody experiment, change their body to the way that they in their brain deem is the perfect body.
Mm-hmm.
So especially from my point of view, being so heavy and coming down, I mainly want to train. Not that I won't take on any type of client, but people I tend to focus on are those who are heavier, and then it's affecting their confidence, it's affecting their self-esteem, how they view themselves. It's starting to lead to things like depression. So it's more of becoming a life coach than a trainer. Through fitness, we can discover different things like better business opportunities, better love life, better financial life, because you're not spending so much money in the doctors and all that stuff. So a little bit something to prevent going down the dark path like I've been and had to come back out of, because I know sometimes people go down that dark path, they don't come back. So as much as I can give back in that way, that makes me happy. It makes me happy to be a trainer.
That's what's up.
I'm gonna be honest. This is not something I thought I was gonna want to do when I first started doing it. But I just kept hearing over and over and over, you should do this, you should do this. You know, I would pay you. It started off when I was in college. I needed an internship. One of my mentors, she was like, you're gonna have to just do strength and conditioning with the women's basketball team. That internship turned into a paid position. That paid position turned into me training multiple teams. Then just off of how I would act by myself in the gym, people gravitated towards it. People started asking me, could you be my trainer? Could you be my trainer? I'm like, no, I didn't think I had the patience for it. I was like, I'm cool, but you can come in here and jump in and do what I'm doing. And as I started to connect with people, relate to people, and I started to experience what that feeling of, pushing people to be greater. And I just started feeding off of, somebody's coming to me because they're trying to get better within themselves. And the best way for me to glorify that to the highest level is being a fitness professional, in my opinion. So, fell in love with it. Fell in love with just people loving you for you. Mm-hmm. I don't gotta put a mask on, and then
now you do.
Yeah.
You do.
Damn it.
2020. Everybody wearing that mask,
Mask on.
But when I've been doing this for over a year, I haven't even felt like it's work. And like I said, people just come to you for being who you are, and it's like the ultimate level of, it's like the ultimate compliment. I'm gonna keep on coming to you just so I can experience being around you,
right.
And I get to make myself better mentally, physically, and sometimes spiritually in the process. Fall in love with that.
That's dope. It's dope.
I ain't gonna say the same story. I'm gonna say it over like 18 times. But sure, I mean, like I said, I came from an overweight family on my mom's side, and tore my ACL, and
God damn it.
whatever. Tore my ACL 2013, and then went to physical therapy for it and everything. And then for whatever reason, when I tore my ACL, I just felt like the rest of my body was broken. Like in general, like I didn't have any other existing injuries before that, but it was just like, what's wrong with you? Like, you shouldn't have tore your ACL playing street ball, doing nothing. And I wanted to get the rest of my body in shape, then help my mom lose 100 pounds. And I was like, I can help other people do the same thing. But the real reason why I really started to train overall, because like I mentioned last week, me and my ex wanted to have a gym together, and we wanted to build upon that. So we thought, well, one good way to understand the fitness industry is be a trainer. Not long term, but end up being long term because I like what I do. But started working here because I was like, you know what? Let me see what I go to this gym. I love how it is, so let me see how it is. And then I've been here for 3 years, so yeah, still planning on opening my own gym. But
what's up? Yeah, man, like me, I like Dre. I had no intention of being a trainer. From the time I was 12 years old, I worked in insurance with my pop. 18 years old, first thing I went and did is got my insurance license. Plan was to run this real estate company, sell insurance, get a Series 7 and start selling investments. But, I got to school and I wanted to do this bodybuilding thing. And this guy would tell me this guy would tell me that, this guy would say, I'm going to help you, and he would not follow through. This person, that person, all this bad advice. Like one guy was like, just eat a stalk of broccoli and a couple ounces of chicken every hour. And another guy's like, just eat all tuna, nothing but tuna. So I got all this bad advice, and I was, obviously I'm a kid, I'm 18 years old, I'm following this bad advice. So probably about 8 weeks out from the show, I'm doing cardio, and I got the wrestling suit on, the plastic.
that like trash bag.
Yeah, I'm doing all this cardio, and this guy comes over like, why are you doing all that? And I was like, man, I'm trying to lose weight for the show. He's like, that's not how bodybuilders lose weight. And I'm like, well, shit. And now, of course, this is pre-internet age. So one, like I just Google how to get ripped. So I ended up going to the library, studying nutrition a little bit, enrolled in a nutrition class. And then the nutrition teacher was telling me what I was already doing. Well, let me backtrack. So I got into it, did a show, got second, first teenage show. And then I go back to school, and of course everybody's like, oh, I heard you did a show. And then they started asking me writing programs, sort of asked me to do diets. I didn't really know what I was doing diet-wise. But I enrolled in nutrition class, and I'm listening to this teacher tell me how much protein a person needs and how you can't go over this amount. And I'm like, I got a girl doing more than this, and she's doing great. And she actually won her first show. So I'm like diving into it more. So it just became fascinating to me to learn, and then be able to apply it and see people's lives change. And then when I got out of school, I was like, I'm still going to do insurance, but I want to make sure that I just have some fun for the summer. So I started training people, and then what I noticed is when you're training middle-aged women, a lot of them, when I say like, they have kids, they're somebody's wife, they kind of lose that sense of themselves. And training people for bodybuilding shows kind of empowered women, right? And I say women because men, we run a business, we get management positions. We're not thought of being in the home raising kids,
Right.
But there's a whole, group of women out there that are mom, Mrs. Jones. They're no longer themselves. They're no longer Karen or Amy or whatever. They're now what? Who, Amy? I don't really know Amy. That's why I said Amy. I don't want nobody watching this saying, "Oh, what are you thinking about her for?" No. So you train these women. They're like 40-something years old, and all of a sudden they're like, they've regained their youth. Like there was this one lady I trained, man, and she was just like, everyone joked about her at the gym. She used to be Mrs. Delaware. She used to. 3 years with me, we won some shows. We went to Masters National. She took top 5, and all of a sudden she's feeling like she's dressing different. She's feeling better about herself. Her and her husband are getting along a lot better. She feels good about herself. She's no longer just Mrs. Whoever. And if the husband can embrace that, the relationship usually flourishes to a whole new level. So that kind of gave me a lot of purpose and made me want to push a lot of women into competing. But yeah, man, it's just, like I had kids that, I'm training them, they were getting beat before, I'm training them for wrestling, and now all of a sudden they're in the state finals, Like you just have some empowering moments like that, and you just realize, man, this is way bigger than just me. Like it's, what I'm doing out here is changing people's lives. And people say, well, you ain't no doctor. Yeah, you're right. I'm more important than a doctor because if you listen to what I'm telling you, you won't be at the doctor's.
Right.
So, it's the sense of purpose, man. Sense of purpose is always there. Even when I'm tired, I'll sit there and, my wife will say, why don't you take a break? How can I take a break? I got all these people depending on me to get their program to them because they got this show, that show, or, they're trying to get ready for this or that. And, and it's all super important. It's time sensitive. It just gives you a sense of like urgency every time you get up. And I do the program and I feel good. So it's not like I'm working. It's just kind of like I'm figuring this puzzle out all the time. It's a good time all the time. When I'm training people on the floor, I'm making their day brighter because they come to me. It's more than just about lifting weights, right? You would all agree. It's more than about lifting weights. We hear stories. We hear bad times, good times. We're lifting people up. We're encouraging them, making them feel like they can do things they never thought they could ever do. Fucking awesome.
I like the look on their face they have when they're too tired to even think about their problems, what they have going on at home. Like it's that solid hour of time. It's just me, them, and moving the weight. It's no longer about this bill is due, that bill is due. Little Jimmy is failing math class. No, we're gonna think about that for the solid hour. So it's a nice getaway time.
Funny is I get the opposite though, because I get clients that talk about their day, and it's just like, man, fuck this person at work because you believe this shit, and we pretty much, I'm their therapist for like a whole hour. It's like, man, you know what? I appreciate you. And leave.
And you didn't have to say nothing. You didn't have to say anything. You just let them vent.
Yeah, man. That's like especially like people have no one to talk to. You become that person they can outlet to.
Right.
But like for me, like I tell people, I'm always trying to help you accomplish something you wouldn't do on your own. That's super big for me. Like if you walk in this gym, we're gonna do something to push you beyond what you would do on your own. Because if you can do it yourself, what do you need me for?
Right.
Right. So I'm pushing people beyond those limits all the time. We're teaching something, pushing the intensity. We're making them walk out feeling like they accomplished something.
Facts.
So
next topic.
Yeah, man. So like, you were telling me an interesting story about football and how. So tell me, after all the issues you had with football, and kind of go into that a little bit, how you came out of it so positive. Because your attitude is amazing. Like, I was talking to you last week, and we've been knowing each other, learning each other for the last couple months, but it's amazing because some people get, negativity happen to them. They have something negative. They experience something wasn't the right outcome, and they go like this. Man, nothing ever happens right for me, or oh man, it was because of this X, Y, and Z. They can't get out of that negative mindset. And your mindset's so positive. And you had some tough hurdles you had to go over, man. So like, tell the audience a little bit about that.
So I think the biggest, I'll say it again from last week, the biggest moment that happened in my football career is when I was in high school. And it's a real close game. I'm not getting too much play time. When I do get in, I'm not making too many big plays, but I always believed in myself. Like I knew it. I put the extra work in. I would come to practice early. I would be the last one gone. And I just knew I had the capability to make plays. And my coach, man, Coach Rob, he came up to me in the middle, towards the end of the game. He hyped me up. He was like, man, you ready to go 110%? I was like, man, anything you need me to do, I'm doing it to my fullest ability. I got you. He's hyped me up for like 2 minutes. He just pats me back in my head. He goes, all right, man. And he just walks off. And that moment right there, I always say that's what made that dog come out. Because I never forget that. It's humiliating to a point because my family's driving all these hours to come watch me play, and I'm just sitting there. My man's hyping me up. I'm not even getting in the game to do nothing. So I told myself, I was like, if anything, I'm never going to feel that feeling again.
What year in high school were you when that happened?
Junior.
Okay, so what changed your senior year? Because you got offers from like Division I schools, right?
Yeah, so what changed at that point in time, I did not want to feel that feeling again. And I kind of knew, well, I'm not going to say I kind of knew. I knew that I had no interest in going to school. I had no idea what I wanted to do. The only vision I could see myself doing is football. So I got to find a way to make that happen. Me getting hyped up and not getting in the game is not going to make that happen. So that whole summer, I got multiple lifelong mentors. They trained me up in the game. They told me to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I had to run 1,000 routes. I had to run routes for myself. I had to sit on the jug machine. I had to sit, lift all these weights, just continue to invest in the craft. When I end up missing my first opportunity having to go junior college, that in itself was kind of a testament. That was life asking me, how bad do you want to do this football thing? There was times, I was Grossmont College, San Diego, California. I'm talking about I spent months. I had to spend a month sleeping in the trunk of my car, and I had to hide. So, because out there, it's a crime. Like, if you get caught sleeping in your car, like, police would come up. So, what I would do is, I would set up a little sleeper spot. I would take the seats down. I would crawl through the trunk, pull the seats back up. I was living off, back then at the time, you can get hot food with food stamps. So I would lie. I would make up every lie in the world to make it so I got my food stamps that day. And I would eat fast food. I would just be eating fast food. There was the first time we got evicted, I stayed in a storage spot for a couple weeks before I actually ended up going to my car because I got caught in the storage spot. And I think one of the hardest part about that is I knew what kind of person my mom was. So she always knew if I was struggling in the type of way, she would go work mad hours overtime, and she's been doing that my whole life. So I was tired of doing that. So she would call. I'm literally asleep in the back of my car at like 9:30 at night because I just spent the whole day in the gym. I spent the whole day at class, practice, all that type of stuff. I'm sleeping in my car. My mom asked me, how's everything going? Man, Mom, everything's good. I just got back from my coach house. He was eating this, lying. Because I know if I told her the truth, she going to go work all these mad hours. I hated that feeling too. But I always told myself, I'm going to give my mom a return on investment. She paid this for me to go to the school. There's a couple times she paid rent when we had a spot. I'm going to get her a return on investment. I'm going to have to lie a little bit to get by, but I'm going to get that return. So my Division I eligibility clock, unfortunately, was out. I was going to go to Sacramento State at the time. I didn't find out today before signing day that I only had 1 year left to play Division I. I told myself the first school that ever called me, I'm there. Lincoln University called. I didn't even know what an HBCU was. They called. I said, send the paperwork. I'm there.
This is historic black college.
Yeah.
For this
you wouldn't know, but it's alright.
We don't
it's
have
not that. I'm just saying. I went to Salisbury State University. That's like a hop, skip, and a jump away from UMS. I know it about.
We don't have those in California.
Really?
We don't have HBCUs in California.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So I didn't know. I'm like, Mom, what's an HBCU? So that's a black school. I said, all right, whatever. I'm Lincoln Line now.
You get a lot of those in the South, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the
Obviously,
South.
they couldn't go to school together,
But I knew I had to fully take initiative and try to go all in with the football thing when my junior year, second game of the season, I'm going in to make a tackle. My man is already bringing them down from the back, and his helmet slams into my knee, and my knee goes backwards. Thank God I didn't tear anything. My knee went backwards. I had so much adrenaline going on. I tried to get back up and jog to the sideline because it was a sudden change. I tried to stand up and I just collapsed. I couldn't put any pressure on my knee, it would fall. So I'm crawling off to the sideline. I'm like, man, I'm gonna be alright. I'm just give me 5 minutes. My athletic trainer, she was like, yeah, you done for it. She done for a little bit. She told me, she told my mom. I wasn't supposed to hear the conversation, but she told my mom, she was like, don't take him to the emergency room. They're gonna tell him he's never gonna play football anymore. He's gonna be heartbroken. He's gonna cry. This
is why you're still in high school?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's like, take him to the athletic trainer facility. They'll have him back in like 3 weeks, 3 to 5 weeks. She took me to the emergency room. I'm sitting there. The doctor comes in so heartless. Changed my life again. He comes in so heartless. He goes, oh man, what happened? I said, man, my knee went backwards. He said, oh, you play football? It's football season. I said, yeah, I play football. He said, no more you don't. I look. I said, what you mean? He said, you'll probably never play a sport ever again in the day of your life. Over with. I'm sitting in the emergency room crying because I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm like, Mom, I'm not about to go to school, and I don't know who paying for it. I don't know what I'm going to do. My whole life was like, it felt like it was over at that day. Woke up the next morning, they took me to an athletic training facility. They was like, oh, man, what happened to your knee? I said, man, it went backwards and it's all swollen. I was like, oh, about 4 weeks. I said, what? Y'all can help me? I did my rehab and I was back in 4 weeks. So at that point in time, I was like, anything like throw at me, I'm cool. Like, I'm gonna be able to get by. There was small things like that that like had to continue to show you, you know, how bad do you want to do this football thing. One of the ways I ended up finding myself after football was and this is why I tell all parents, man, if you're having anybody train your child, you know, for athletics, always tell them make sure you invest in who they are outside of athletics, because one day is gonna be over and nobody knows when that day is gonna come.
Right.
And your life literally changed in a second. So my story with that was, unfortunately, you know, I didn't play for too good of a team. Every team that we played against, they know exactly who Andre Price is, though. I can tell you that. I finished off top 5 multiple categories every year. Every year I played at Lincoln, but unfortunately wasn't winning too much. It's my senior year. We had a roster of 72 players. 65 of them were freshmen. So it's not too much you're gonna do with that. Freshman offensive line, no college lifting program. Not too much you're gonna do with that. So you know, I had a phenomenal season or whatever. I played in I got 17 records. I played in a total of 18 games. You know, I was an All-American, All-Region, the biggest region in NCAA. So I was continuing to get the milestones, the accolades I needed. I felt like I really had a big shot in the league. Ended up signing to an agency. You know, they were paying for my training. They was flying me here and there. You know, they was paying for my meals. They was continuing to reach out to other coaches and things of that nature for me. So I knew that I had the opportunity to make it. The draft happened. That's another time when my life changed in an instant. Because you got to think, my whole life I'm thinking football. I don't know, nothing else. Catch this football, score this touchdown. Catch this football, score this touchdown. Nothing else. So the draft happened. I didn't get my name called. I had one small opportunity at a rookie mini camp. 2 days before I was going to get ready to go to Baltimore to go try out for the Ravens. Got canceled. They ended up giving it to another Division II guy. Then he ended up signing to the roster though, so I wasn't too mad. But then again, my whole life changed. I got a degree. I don't even know why I got the degree. If it wasn't for football, I was not going to get the degree. I was there so I could say I could play football. So I got a health science degree because it was just something I thought it was easy for me. I got a degree in something I don't know what I'm going to do with it with. I got bills I got to pay. I got to live. I don't know how I'm going to pay to live. I didn't know what I was doing. I had so much plug with the university at the time that they let me stay on the campus for the summer after I graduated because I had nowhere to go. I didn't want to go back home without a plan because if I went back home, I would have got involved in things I wasn't supposed to be involved with in the first place, and it would have been like I would have just been another statistic. So I figured out what I was going to do without going home. And during that time, when you know one thing for your whole life, football, and it's taken from you, you have an identity crisis. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know any of my talents except for playing football.
How old were you at the time?
Probably like 21, 21. I didn't know who I was outside of football. So it was taken away from me, and so I went through a depression. I wasn't eating, I wasn't watching nothing. I was just sitting in the room. I wasn't talking to my family. You know, I had no communication with any type of person. I wasn't off any social media. I wasn't playing the game. I wasn't watching TV. I was just sitting in the room. My phone would ring. I would let it ring. I wouldn't turn that TV on. The only time I would come out was when I had to eat. Like, I just felt like I had to go eat. I would get something small, and that would be it. Godly. But so I ended up getting a quick job at Glen Mills Schools. It was pretty much like a juvenile hall in a school-based setting, and that's when I started to realize purpose. Because coming from kids that I could relate to, they kind of saw me as some type of influence. So I took advantage of that. But overcoming that depression of not knowing who you are or what you're gonna do, I was just sitting there stuck, like, I don't know what I'm about to do.
Right.
I don't know how I'm about to make it through life. I done made all these sacrifices. I'm on the whole opposite side of the country. I can't get no further to the opposite side of the country. I'm from California. I'm way out in Pennsylvania. I don't know what I'm about to do. I can't go back home. I didn't even want to face the failure, because I had so much momentum building up of like, I'm about to make it. I didn't even want to face the failure of going back home. Like, you did all that stuff and you right back here with us. So I just didn't go home, and as I started working at Glen Mills and stuff, that's when I really started to get celebrated for who I was. People was like, even the kids was like, yo, can you give me some football workouts? I got a couple kids credited me for helping them get offers to major schools and things of that nature. And I slowly started to find myself. But it's like every time I would reach a peak, someone would knock me down. And then I would find some more hope. I get a peak, someone would knock me down. I reach a peak, someone would knock me down. But I think it was just something that was like, I always knew. I was like, even without football, I did something. A lot of people where I'm from, they don't even go to school, so I got a degree. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I got a degree that 4-year degree. I mean, I got an opportunity to go get a 2-year degree. That 2-year degree turned into a 4. That 4-year degree turned into a master's degree. I'm the first person to go to my college. I'm not the first person in my family to go to college, so I kind of raised the bar. So now my kids, I went from none of us went to college. I got a master's degree. You can at least do something. Right. You know what I'm saying? You're not about to sit here and look and be like, oh yeah, Pastor ain't got a master's degree, his mom and dad didn't do nothing. No discredit to them. But you got to do something. You know what I'm saying? You got to do something. But I could never bring it to myself to give up on myself.
See, when I hear, I didn't mean to cut you off, but when I hear people like, you had a tough life, it's real what it is. You had your poison in, couldn't make it, not go to the Olympics. You had your stuff, whatever. People know what to talk about.
I got some other stuff too that he made me think of. God.
You went through your thing. I'm not gonna put your stuff out there like that. I went through my stuff in life in general. Nothing that crazy, but it's just like when I hear shit like that, it's just like people will try to get, oh, woe is me. I had a tough life.
Yeah.
Throw me a break for what? You know how many people had a tough life or had some tough experience about their life that they either overcome or let it take them, and you want me to throw you a bone because of reasons? I'm not saying I don't have empathy. But it's just like, when you hear shit like that, it's just like, yo, get your life together and move forward. Either it's going to make you or it's going to break you.
Yeah, I mean, everybody goes through challenges. And I think one of the truest statements I've ever heard is, if everything's going good right now, don't worry, you got a challenge coming around the corner any day now. And like for me, when I had the gym, I was super broke. So I fight every day. So when my book gets even a little bit slow, I'm in panic mode. Fuck that. I got it. And I think that's why I keep trying to do this business after this business after this business, because I'm like, I always want to have multiple streams of income coming in, because I don't ever want to feel that feeling of being broke ever again. Right. I was there. Exactly. And I was broken. I wasn't broke like I didn't have any help. Like, I could throw a line at my father, he would hook me up anytime I needed money. But I didn't like that feeling. Like, you go into dinner with your family, you don't even want to look at them. Like, I don't even deserve to eat this food right now because you're going to have to pay for it. Mm-hmm. I can't pay for it. Like, now we go out, I don't even let my parents pay. I'm paying the bill. Because because all those times they helped me. My dad, just little stuff, that I can do. Like, all his landscaping, his lawn and everything, I pay for that. Just because I'm in a position when I was down and out, he helped me. you know. And I remember sitting in his office one time where I'm like in tears, and I'm just like, man, I feel like a failure. And he's like, "You're my son. Anything I can do to help you, I want to help you," you know. And I understand that feeling now because I got my babies, you know, and there's nothing they could ask me for that I'm not going to work really hard to try and give them, you know. But that feeling of not being enough, or having being able to control what you got going on because you don't have the income to do it, it's a shitty feeling, you know what I mean? And having to ask for help is a shitty feeling, you know. Like, everyone needs help sometimes, but there's the people that I'm gonna need help, and I'm gonna stay down in the dumps and keep asking for help, you know, or I'm gonna take the initiative and take the path where I'm gonna make it so I don't need help.
Right.
There's just two different ways to look at it, you know. And I remember, you know, like I thought my bodybuilding career was going here. You know, 2017, I come back because 2016, I qualify for Olympia, I get super sick, I'm out, digestive problems all year. 2017, I got on stage about 80%, just to remember what it was like to feel the stage, because I wanted to give up. And it lit a fire under me. I came back and looked like a whole different person when I did the Arnold in 2017, the Arnold Europe. And I'm like, man, I'm top 10 in this lineup. This is pretty much the Olympia lineup. I'm top 10 in this this lineup. I'm definitely going to make it do some damage at the Arnold in 2018. And I go there, man, and I'm like, you know, I was on pace. But what me and my coach did was not good. We went there, and, man, we wasn't hard. We wasn't full. We was just in the middle, which is the worst. You know, we were watery. So I ended up like almost, not last, but almost last. And I'm like, damn.
Felt like last.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't the last call out, you know, and it's terrible because I'm looking at the guys that had no business beating me. But we just didn't peak right. And it wasn't like I didn't do everything in that prep perfectly. I did. You know, the game plan just wasn't right. And then I go to 4 weeks later to this show in Indianapolis. I'm like, I got this. This ain't no problem. I'm gonna win this one. Get ready for Olympia. I go there and get ninth, and I'm like, so then, you know, again, I'm not thinking anything but my career is gonna be awesome. You know, like, we're gonna win more shows. And then I tear my pec because I was training angry. I was pissed off. I was like, I'm gonna get bigger, and I got bigger, and I was doing crazy weights, and then all of a sudden, boom, I tear my pec. Never in my mind would I have imagined that happening. But I get done tearing my pec, and I'm like, I didn't even do rehab. I like went home, rested it, iced it, and then I think I like
Came back post clinic the next day.
yeah, and I think like within 3 weeks I was back to trying to work out.
So you got the 225 before we found out it was fully torn.
Yeah, I actually got back to 315.
Oh, 315.
Before I knew it was fully torn, you know, because the MRI place read it wrong, or the doctor read it wrong off the MRI place and reading, and you know, I'm like, all right, well, I'm training. I'm like, it's not completely torn, so I'm good. I'm going to be back on stage. We're getting ready for the Romania show in November. And then I'm like, I go back to the doctor for my knee, and the doctor's like, I think we should MRI that again.
I thought it was because you you started getting cut, and then you realized it.
Well, no. What ended up happening is I went there because we had an MRI again. That's right, because I go back there because my massage therapist, my massage therapist did my massage, and she pulled it out. Like, she got underneath the scar tissue and pulled it all the way out. She was like, and it rolled right back in, and she was like, I think that's detached. So we went and had an MRI again, and you know, an hour and a half later MRI, they figured out it was completely detached. They did the surgery. But after they did the surgery, you know, like, again, I'm like, man, am I ever going to be able to compete again? Am I ever going to be, you know, back? And at that point, I could have easily been like, well, what do I do now? And just kind of gave up. It was like, I grabbed Rashaad and I said, we're going to train all these people. And we're going to train and more people than we ever trained before. And that's what we did, man. We had a hell of a year in that year, you know, with training people and competitions and all that kind of stuff. You know, but it was definitely a good year. But, you know, like you take the bad situations and you got to find it in yourself to make it something positive out of it, you know.
We got two great trainers from it.
We did, you know. You and Tom became incredible from it, so it was awesome, you know. And yeah, we're gonna see. Now I got a new training partner, so you know, and and it's making training fun again. You know, we enjoying life. We got, you know, Lawton and Dre over here pushing us on a daily basis, and Dre making me feel like I need to step my game up on a continual basis, and we doing that, you know.
And I'm just over here on the side, I'm like, all right, man, as long as the company's still running.
He like when you tear something, when you injured again, I guess I'm gonna get all those people. That's what you're saying. He's like, yeah, Dre, make them work, Dre, make them work.
I don't even know if I can take them people now. I used to do it.
Dre can.
I know, Dre, like, man, you got your own business you're doing up there, you know. But yeah, what do you think makes a good training partner, Rashaad?
Real quick, one thing I want to touch up on, because you were talking about feelings that you feel, you know, when you kind of like down, not down and out, well, yeah, down and out, like,
Or close to it, right?
yeah, close to it, you know, you're too prideful to reach out and seek help. Another big thing for me, just because you asked, was I learned like to kind of like have, I was holding on to a pain, and it wasn't like, I've been broke before. This whatever, I'm broke. I've been homeless before. This whatever, I'm homeless. You know, I've been this, I've been that. The ultimate pain of it was like, you know, you down and out, you by yourself, and you just feel like don't nobody care about you or your situation. It's just, feeling alone is one thing. Feeling alone and like exiled is another thing. And
I agree with that.
Yeah, that amount of just loneliness, and you don't even want to reach out because fear of denial for it, and then just the humility that comes from it, it's, you really just stuck in a world of your own. Just, you got to figure out a way to get out. And I always said, just like I said last week, man, I always knew that somebody would take whatever exact situation that you're sitting in, and they'll find a way to win with it. So you just got to
I think before I came here, I was having that feeling. Like, yes, I allowed myself, when I was living in North Carolina, I allowed myself, I was like, I had that moment where I came to tears. I'm like, I gotta go home. So I was lucky to have a place to go home, because my mom and her boyfriend, her girlfriend takes care of everything. He's like, yeah, like, you gotta come home. It took me probably 3 extra months of sitting in my apartment that I was maybe about to get kicked out of any day. Like, I had just enough money, throw in a little rent. I didn't pay any of the fines that I was supposed to pay for, but I had just enough to stay in. I was messing with a girl I had no business messing with. A little high maintenance. She was probably 3 or 4 zeros higher in maintenance than I could afford at the time. So I had to swallow my pride. I had to dump that. Realize, oh shit, I gotta go home. Mm-hmm. And I think the first night I came home, they turned my old bedroom into my sister's bedroom. My sister ended up going out to she's like, I'm gonna take the garage. There's so much space out there. I'm literally sitting in like a room built for a girl. I was like, fuck. I cried for literally probably like 2 hours. And then I got a job at so-and-so gym before I came here. And then I realized, when I first started working, I was so bit, like you said, holding on to a pain. I was holding on to my pain and my pride coming home, and realizing I had to restart. I mean, not that like I'm not old, but I had to restart. And I realized I was projecting my anger onto everybody else who was around me, causing them to then in turn hate me for like, oh, he's just an asshole, he ain't shit. And realized that once I left there and came to a place where I was more welcome. Like, I tell Fred all the time, there's probably no better person who could have walked into my life at the right time.
You know what's funny? He's saying that. I think that's exactly what I'm going through right now.
What?
Like, with everything in my life going on. Not to that extent. Not even comparing shit together.
Like, brother, you got a house. What you talking about?
No. Like, on paper, I should be fine.
Yeah.
But with what has transpired in the last year, with everything,
you're holding on to something.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Because, like, obviously, for the last month and a half, I've been like a piece of shit. Like, not 2 people.
Been a little moody.
Just a little moody. But, like, I'm not taking down anybody. Like, I'm just confining in myself. Talk to Fred here and there and whatnot. But I just, like, can't pinpoint what it is. Still don't know what it is right now. But, like, as you describing that, it's just like kind of see it more and more now.
Right.
This is because it's like I'm holding on to something, but I don't know what it is. So the way you described that gave me a little bit of insight on that.
I think it's really just having the time to like self-reflection, like look at yourself.
I kind of don't have that right now.
You gotta have, like, sit there, just have a good cry. Like,
I've had.
but even as guys, sometimes from a young age, we're taught like not to show emotion. So you kind of, I don't know how
I've been sat my whole life.
Well, it's funny
I
you
cried
say
at Homeward Bound. I don't know what to tell y'all.
It's funny you say that. It's because when me and my ex broke up, it's just like I could probably count on before this on one hand the number of times I cried in my life. When I was 5, like legit, like emotional cry, not like.
Yeah, but you remember when you was an adolescent? How did you cry?
What you mean? I can literally, cause like I mean, I don't mean like, oh, I hurt my knee crying, shit, like emotional crying. It's just like, I cried at my granddad's funeral. I cried when I was 16 because I had like an emotional thing. Cause like I told you, I took care of my grandmother and couldn't do shit. And like that's mainly why I didn't play sports, is because I had to take care of my grandmother and everything. Cried then because I was like 16, couldn't do anything in my life. And, like my first world problems and shit. And then I cried at my uncle's funeral because my mom was crying and I hated seeing her in that state, like super emotional. But before that, I like emotional wise, I never cried. But then after me and my ex broke up, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, it is what it is. And then months went past, and then I was good. And I don't know what it was, like probably a couple days after the New Year's party or whatever, I just sat in my room and cried like hard as shit. And it's just like, that sucks. And like a couple weeks prior to that, I would cry on and off and whatnot. And ever since then, I feel like I'm more emotional about stuff. Not like sit there like, oh, boo-hoo, but it's like I have more empathy for certain things and whatnot. So I don't think I necessarily need to cry, but I need to reflect with nobody in my house. Like, just sit there and figure out what I'm doing in my life.
I think, I think sometimes purpose and clear direction has a lot to do with. Like, I think right now, like for me, when me and my other partner decided to go separate ways, and I'm stuck with big sports with me and the partner I have now, and then I have this operation here, and then another one we're doing, I'm sitting there going, I don't have clear direction. Got too much input coming in with no clear direction on how to filter it out, And I think sometimes, like, with me, like for instance, when I was having a hard time at the gym, I couldn't see the light, I couldn't see anything positive. So I was like, there was times when I was like real low, and I was like, man, I really need to be here. And Monica brought me out of that. Like she was born, and all of a sudden I had this purpose. Like I got this clear, definitive purpose. This is what I'm doing. No matter what, I got to make things right for her always. So when you have that purpose, you don't have time to think about how bad things are, because you're like, I got a reason to focus on how I got to make them right for her.
Well, I ain't have no kids to think of my life.
Very true. But that goes back to my point where, like, I think sometimes people get stuck because they can't find the clear path, focused direction to go into. Like we always talk about, what's your why? And this is what first thing I ask people when they start any program with me. It's like, what's your why? I want to get in shape is not really a why. Why do you want to get in shape? What's underneath that? What's driving you to do this now? And I think the same thing, like, what's your why for getting up every morning and pushing and going as hard as you can? And you got to refine that. We talk about doing a gym. We talk about wanting to do more with training. We talk about all these things. We're getting this certification, but I think we need to always clarify what's the why. Why are we doing it? What's the driving force? And when that's clear, every day it becomes very, very simple.
I think mine changed from wanting to be in shape to wanting to actually be good at something, acknowledged for something.
Yeah, you're saying that. Yeah.
Want to be like a part of something that is not like negative, like this. Like really good at something. I guess I can't really go too much deeper. And my current state right now is I want to actually be good at something. I've never been good at anything in my entire life. So why not do something that why give it 100%? Can't sit on my ass the entire time, and I can't be in mom's house forever. I eventually do have to get back out, which I'm working on right now. But I was actually looking at houses today too. There's some good ones. Good ones in the area. Ain't that much out of my price range either.
How's Delaware cheap?
Huh?
Houses in Delaware are cheap.
Better than
they ain't got them crazy ass taxes that the other states have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I ain't getting no house in Jersey.
Hell
Jersey,
you can't even leave Jersey.
They're acting a fool up there, so they shutting everything down for like 0.09 fatality rate. I don't understand it for the coronavirus. It's like 1%.
Of the whole state.
I mean, the fatality rates are bogus. I mean, they're literally like
they're inflated.
Yeah, well, even if it's inflated, they're less than like 3% of people die more from the flu. Like they ain't shutting nothing down for that.
Right. When we go in the next month or two,
we also have a vaccine for the flu too.
Yeah, but you gotta remember, the flu is still a virus. It's ever changing.
True.
I mean, they don't have a vaccine. They give you the flu shot, and it's supposed to be a version of it. So now you have the antibodies to fight when you get whatever flu strain is going out there. But it don't always work.
It don't work, but it's like they have an idea of it. It's like, all I'm saying, I mean, I get it, and I'm not disagreeing, but at the same time, there with the flu, yes, it's killed a lot more people throughout the year. But right now, we don't have a handle on COVID. So I get it, but at the same time,
Once all this political stuff is gone, COVID will go away. Personal opinion.
I don't think so. We'll see.
Well, the media coverage of it will go away,
Probably.
which means in turn it will go away.
We'll see. People still gonna die from it though. Hey man, you gonna stay on your phone?
My kid is texting me. Kids first, always.
Well, throw a topic out there while you're talking.
Why don't you just change the camera angle so it's focused on y'all and not me while I'm texting my child?
So I had to get in front of a camera to change the angles. See, you know,
This
this
is a
one.
conversation you want to have on the show?
Yeah, I do.
We like to keep it real.
Exactly.
We like to keep it
What
real.
do you mean? We want to be keeping real fake.
Uh-huh.
Huh? Exactly.
But,
Mm.
yeah.
I do have a question for you. 'Cause I mentioned it a little bit earlier when off camera.
I was trying to ask my goddamn question about the good training partner, but go ahead, what's your question?
Since you juggle so much, how do you find time to really balance everything and keep yourself level-headed without going?
Hence why I'm not competing right now. Because anybody will tell you that's trying to be great in any one thing, there is no balancing. Right? Like, if I was trying to compete, there's no way I would be making anything else work well.
Just a
Right,
jack
so-
of all trades.
Right, like right now, you know, we're doing really great numbers. In this COVID time, when everybody's scared, our training company is doing really well.
Right.
And it's come back real fast from what we came back to after the pandemic. You're looking at the book, looking at me. And now it's like, you know, we've had our best week that we had pretty much all year last week. So,
Really?
yeah, man, I hit the numbers. I was like, damn. So,
Oh, you hit the numbers. Gotcha.
well, I mean, the company as a whole, you know, we hit crazy numbers. But the point is, that's because I'm putting all this effort into above and beyond physiques. Big Sports is doing good, but it's not doing as well as it could do because I'm not throwing all the time. So we just hired somebody to be doing more sales for, you know, you and someone else to do sales for Big Sports. So the idea is that, you know, like there really isn't a balance. It's really about just delegating enough, giving enough responsibility to other people that everything can run. Like, for instance, like, you know, how you see, like, I walk, like how we have 2 trainers with me all the time. It allows me to walk away and do calls, handle stuff with this person, that deal with the other companies because you guys are out there training the individuals. And because they're comfortable with you because you've been with me long enough to see how I do it, that it's not that break in the chain where I'm like, I can't really help you right now, and then I lose that customer.
Right.
It's like, you know, we're building a system where if I can't do it, you're capable to do it. Emily's capable to do it. Chris is capable to do it. And we're just continue that process.
We've heard
over
good
and over.
comments too, where like somebody said it jokingly. It was like, "Damn, y'all are all sick and twisted, just like Fred."
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, it's like, I'm definitely not sick and twisted, but definitely a little different.
You have to be.
Training wise, not like for
Well, yeah, you got to be somewhat of a masochist, I mean, because, you know.
Sadist.
Sadist, yeah.
Sadist. You enjoy inflicting pain.
I don't enjoy inflicting pain. I do enjoy pushing people past their limits.
You can't push them back
It's a job.
without being.
I can make them uncomfortable, not necessarily pain.
Oh my God! Whatever. Not being CP.
PC?
Whatever.
Politically correct.
Nah,
we're talking color people. We're talking politically correct.
Both.
If you talk about the first one, you kind of violate the second. So you gotta pick.
Yeah, man.
I stick by what I said. Goddamn it.
Yeah.
Showing up with a lot of doors.
All right, so,
So,
as I was saying,
Hey man, I wanna comment on that only because somebody said it to me before. Yes, I know we keep cutting you off.
go ahead, man.
But
Say what you got to say.
the only doors I'm
Say it with
shutting
your chest.
is doors that I don't want in my face.
If you go rewind the tape, I said you opening up a lot of doors.
Oh, I thought you said shutting. I apologize. I'm retracting my statement. I'm sorry, sir.
How's he opening the doors?
If you ain't get it, you ain't get it.
Say it again.
He said, I stand by my statement, goddamn it. And I said, you opening up a lot of doors because we can't tell if we talking about colored people or politically correct. If he said colored people, I said you opening up a whole lot of doors. So
I misunderstood and I apologize.
Well, white people should be colored people. They the ones that change colors all the
I
time.
knew he was going to say some shit. Yeah, he opening a lot of doors.
so
All right, you're training. I'm interested in hearing what you're saying about this training partner thing.
Yeah,
We're
man.
gonna
You know,
stop
like,
cutting you
like
off.
what I'm saying is, you've had a lot of training. You've had training partners before. Right?
No.
You've ever had training partners?
I just got one this year.
Okay, well you've had training partners.
Yeah.
What do you think makes a good training partner? Y'all training and y'all don't have training
Man,
partners?
Well,
somebody,
now they ask him a question and they cut him off.
somebody that's just gonna bring that fire, man. Like, you gotta, like, for me with you, there's nothing you can ever do for me to be like, damn, Fred did this shit. Damn, Fred did it. He came in. I tell him every day, I don't care nothing about nothing you doing here. And every time he does something high, I'm like, oh, okay, watch this. And I'm gonna beat it. So, like, earlier today, you know, his little set of 10 or whatever. I said, man, let's put some real weight on there. Set of 12 or whatever. I did a set. He did a set. I said, all right, bet. How much you do? 12. I said, all right, bet. Do 20. No. I said 12. Then he went and did 17. I said, damn, 17. All right, watch this. 20. He said, damn, all right, 20. What'd you do? 22 or something, right?
23, yeah.
23, yeah. So it's just like, you bring that competitive nature. Because if you just go in there and go through the motions, like, I got 3 sets of 8. All right, cool. I did those 3 sets of 8. That's just the bare minimum. Bare minimum not gonna get you nowhere. When you got somebody that's gonna bring that fire, now it's like if we both go in and it's like, okay, you got a set of 20 on squat. I know I'm slipping up if I just put 2 plays on there. And he like, come on now, like you know you can do more than that.
Right.
So I gotta compete with not only myself, but I gotta know that this expectation that he's setting on me, just like I'm setting an expectation on him. And if you fall short of it, I'm coming for you.
See, I'm opposite though, because
You don't grind, you work out.
Nah. I wouldn't have got third in my show if I don't grind.
Did you get first?
Nah, because it was my first one.
How many people remember the third place guy?
Everybody that saw me the fuck up there.
Okay.
Hey, you know why? They saw me do my.
Now watch this.
My
Show
night
energy.
show.
Now you're ready to go train. Cause you're able to get third again.
Nah, because you know why? I was the best poser up there, courtesies of Fred Small. But I still got the best. If they had the best pose up there, I would have got that shit. All right.
But they did it.
But guess what? I don't care. I did it for work experience. That's why I was up there. But hey man, you need some shredding? You need some shredding? We got some over there.
Obviously not. You need some shredder.
Nah.
You see my abs.
Alright, whatever. Anyway. Hey, yeah. I got all this. This is what I got.
Stop, please,
Yeah. Nah.
I'm not even marking
You
up
don't talk
the
about abs.
You're a trainer, man.
I don't give a shit. I did somebody come and say, how you a trainer with no
Oh
abs?
my
Bitch,
God.
can you do what I do? No.
Yes.
Whatever, man.
Oh Lord. Anyway,
But back to what I was saying was, like when we had the Biggie Fest last year, and Eddie and I think it was Akil talking about it, like training partners and whatnot. You get a training partner, and like I use my trainer's cousin for example. I train every day at 1:30, and my training partner comes in every day at 1:30. But let's say if he didn't have the same mindset as me, and he's coming in, it's like, hey, yeah, let's work out. We working out, but I'm trying to train. So best example for me was when I was getting ready for my show. Only time I asked somebody to train with me, or matter of fact, not even train me, can you spot me on this? It had to be somebody I trust to spot this, because I had somebody spot me, and I'm like, all you did was roll the weight for me. You're not helping me at all. So for me, I find it so is the only person that can hype me up to get myself going is me, because granted, I might not have found that training partner yet, but nobody can push me harder than I can myself. Because if I failed on something, I'm like, all right, you know what? I need to do this shit again because I didn't get what I was supposed to get. So that's why it's like, for me, I don't have a great training partner. Training partner guy now is good, but he doesn't, like how Dre hypes you up, he doesn't hype me up like that way. I'm just working out with somebody.
yeah, I mean, I think there's validation in saying, you know, I train myself hard. But what I can tell you is, no matter how hard you push yourself,
You can go hard.
you can go harder. And when you got that person that's just as big as dog as you, like for instance, when I train with a lot of people, they're yes people. Like, you know, oh man, Fred did this, so I'm gonna do this. You know, Fred did this, so I must be here. You know what I mean? And a lot of people are afraid to tell me to push harder because, you know, where they hold me, you know, in terms of what I've accomplished, whatever, right? So, right. And Dre's like, I don't give a shit about no Biggie. Fred Smalls, bitch, go, you know. And when you have that, and then he's an All-American. He's, played football at the highest level, and so in himself, he's like, I'm a fucking athlete. You can't do what I do, so he's coming here trying to see if he can beat me at what I do, and that competitive nature. Like I got lots of love for Dre, and I think he's got lots of love for me. But when we in there, ain't really no love in there. He looking at me like, you must like losing, and that energy, like what I've done, what we've done, 6 sets of spider curls after already doing reverse curls, after already doing dumbbell alternate curls and going to failure on those. Well, we have done 6 more sets if we wasn't battling back and forth. Would you have jumped in and did that last set if we didn't battle back and forth? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like that energy, you can't. That's hard to create on your own. And if you can create it one day, to create it every single day, that's hard because there's times when I'm flat, he's up. And very rarely, but I've seen him down one time and I bring him up. So like I think you when you find the right person, if you're with that person, it's kind of like feeding off your energy. They ain't the right person. You got to both be bringing your energy in, and on that occasional time when one person down, the other person will bring you up. Mm-hmm. And it ain't no talking other than talking shit because we just keep moving. And
I ain't got that yet.
Yeah, I mean, but when you find it, and then the other thing is like there's no shame in saying I don't necessarily want to grind on that level because that's not the goals I'm shooting for. Like, you might not want to grind a level, but me, there ain't no way I'm going to get to where I want to, or get back to where I want to get to if I'm not crushing myself every time I'm in there. Because I got to be in that complete area where you're uncomfortable. Your body feels like it is, holy shit, we got to get stronger to even keep up with this. So my body has to be doing. And in being 44, I got to be smart about it, which he's pushed me, but he's also aware that there's certain things that, I got to be a little smarter on. So, where he's going to challenge me on biceps, if we're doing stiff legs, he's like, dude, whatever you do is what you do. You know what I mean? Because there's more susceptibility to injury there. So, you got to have, it's hard to find a good training partner. I think in my lifetime I've had 3 great partners. Great. I've had a lot of good ones that are there, but 3 great. And I'm not going to list them because I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. But I can say, Eddie is one of them, and then Dre's another, so, but, maybe 4, and, ones that people that challenge me, like, you fucking up, you can do better, so.
When we train together, I let those two go at it, because I'm so damn self-absorbed when we be working out. I want to see what I can do. Because I know they're gonna, like you say, training smart, training safe. But then it's like, I want to see what I can do. I want to see how far I can push myself. I love these 2. I ain't worried about what they're doing. They got their own thing to do. I'm worried about what I'm doing. And now I just know something
that when you put on 225 the other day, you saw what the fuck we were doing. You did that shit because I'm gonna beat him here. I got him on this one. I got him. No, shut up.
Shoulder press.
Talking about you be watching.
Why is that? I've been watching.
Well, I know what. We throw weight on there. You like this one. I'm gonna do that shit too. Whether you can do it or not, I'm gonna do that shit too.
I'm
gonna find my breaking point.
Shouts out to Eddie, man. If I'm a fail, I'm a fail high. Once he told me that one, I ain't gonna never forget that one.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I do that one, but
if I fail, I'm a fail. I ain't gonna fail at no low.
No, I mean, we always go max effort to failure. That's always the goal. Where are we gonna fail at?
We're gonna find.
We're
gonna learn it today.
And we're gonna keep going until we do fail.
I remember one time you had me do triple drop set of 6, 12, 20, and I think this is the first time I ever did this, and it was the beginning of my prep. So it was like January or some shit. So the first week, did it, and I think I did 6 of 315, 12 of like 250 or something, and then finished out with 225 or 20. I'm like, oh, okay, this feels good. Go back to next week. I was like, all right. He used to have me do 2 warm-ups. And I was like, all right, bet. Did 315 last week. All right, I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna do 330, whatever the hell I said. Let's say 335. All right, so I warmed up to 335. I put on 265, and I had somebody spot me. I'm like, let's get this warm-up for 5. 1, 2, shit. All right, well, I guess it ain't gonna happen this week. So it's just like you saying, it don't matter what you fell at, as long as you give max effort. Because that week I did not get over 280.
Yeah.
That shit was heavy.
It's a lot of small things that go into just having a great trainer for you, especially like being I think with us it's just you can't predict it. You never know when you're gonna come out. Especially on those sets and I'd be like, man, why not? It's usually at a high weight, like real heavy set, and then right when you think you're done, I just hit you with it. Why not? You gotta pull it up on the screen. It's a small.
You know, I would like to, and I was gonna put when you telling your story last week about how you felt during the squat. You never sent me that video, so it ain't on.
I'm gonna send you the video.
I mean, I think that video would have been cool because no matter what, I got you.
Yeah.
That's important too. Like
yeah, right there. That's huge.
No matter what situation you get in, I'm in a good spot because Fred's got me. And that's the way I feel. Like, we getting there to where I'm feeling like that with you too. Like we getting there. But because we've been training people so long, that's the advantage of training with a trainer. Is like, and like you said, it's making you a better trainer.
Right.
Learn, spotting.
Side note.
What?
Somebody here that goes to this gym.
Yeah.
I was trying to fill them out the same way, right? Having them spot me. I don't know if I told this story here before. Middle of my prep, doing 225 on incline. Well, I was going to try to do 225 on incline. It's a while ago, I was weak. So I'm hitting it, and I'm like, all right, I hit 215 before, and I got it for 6. All right, I got hit 225 for this. Ask this person to spot me. And I'm like, all right, I'm definitely drawing me, give me lift off and whatnot. I do it, and I struggled on 215 prior, and I'm like, that shit was heavy, but I still got through it. I'm repping this shit out. I'm like, why is this so easy? Nah. Yeah. I'm like, that ain't feel right. And I was done that exercise. I was like, I'm gonna do this shit again. So I had my ex come, I was like, hey, yo, can you just spot me on this? And I was like, I need to make sure I did this right. So I pick up that shit, like, woo, pick your shit up, pick it up. I was like, I'm never asking that person to spot me again.
Who was it?
Names.
Have the balls to say it. Is it a girl?
Yes.
Oh, so I know who you're talking about.
All right.
Damn, always talking about mom, man. That's fucked up, man.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Always talking about mom.
Hey.
I was aware. I thought your name was name dropping somebody else who dropped somebody doing squats the other night we were here training.
I don't think I was there.
No, it was us. We watched homeboy drop. The dude was squatting. He dropped him on the squat rack.
Oh yeah.
You told us
You were doing your set. You know
who was that, yo?
Mr. Tall and Lanky, same weights every week himself.
Tall and lanky. You know.
Like middle of the day. Wait.
No, this
What
is
was that, man?
It's like 9 at night.
9 at night.
I think I remember, but because they started laughing about he dropped it backwards, right?
I said somebody need to come see Fred for some nutritional help. 'Cause
Yeah,
he ain't got it.
Who the fuck are we talking
What are
about?
you talking about, though?
Talking about.
Oh. All right. Well, I blame his
I
name
mean,
out. I blame his name out.
he ain't a trainer, though, man.
I mean,
Yeah,
he missed the jujitsu.
If you watching this, we still love you.
What you mean? I'm blanking this man's name out.
That's
He'll come and find us and kill us.
Yeah, that's funny, man. That's funny.
Hey, you remember? Remember the Tims
Tim.
last year?
Yeah,
He was working on.
So on that note, we gonna wrap this up. So
We'll talk
we ain't
afterwards.
talking about none of that. But back to what we were talking about earlier.
You said we're gonna wrap it up, and then said back to what you talking about
Let me
earlier.
finish. Back to what we were talking about earlier. I'm gonna bring this home, right? So we were talking about what makes a person get out of a certain situation. But one thing that you will find common with most champions, most people that succeed, is there's always an optimism in their thinking, right? Always an optimism. You have the people that go, woe is me, and they go, it ain't gonna ever happen right for me. But people that are typically successful and achieve to greater levels are always optimistic. Even in the worst situation, they can find the optimism of how it's gonna be better. And I think that's always been a gift for me because I can be in the worst situation. Somehow I land on my feet because I already believe I'm gonna land on my feet. I can have everything coming down on me, but I believe I'm gonna get out of it in a positive manner. So people that are watching this podcast, that tune in, listening, remember, no negative is a statement for this week. No negative. Somebody brings negative in your life, they gotta get out. Push them away, run away from them. We don't want any negative. You keep all positive in your mindset, good things will happen. Good energy will be around you. Good things will come to you. So that's our time for Big Talk. Thank you for listening to the podcast that has you believing in yourself, inspiring others, and growing on a daily basis, both mentally and physically.